All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Jen, would you take roll call, please?
Commissioner Delzer? Absent. Commissioner Erickson?
Here.
Commissioner Wagner?
Here.
Commissioner Abraham?
Here.
Mayor Lindsay?
Present. Attached, you have the minutes of the September 23rd meeting. Are there any additions, corrections?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of September 23rd as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You have attached, Annette, the agenda for this evening. Are there any additions, corrections, modifications?
I'll move the approval of the agenda as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appearances, acknowledgements, and correspondence. We have Richard Freewalt, who's asked to address the commission again. And Richard, if you'd sit up to the table here so the people at home can hear you on the microphone, I'd really appreciate that. Okay.
Okay, last time I was here, we weren't quite sure where the city stood legally. Of course, with the fence, and it's been made fairly clear where the city's, whatever you call it, lies. I'm here asking each and every one of you, just for the fact that I have children, I have grandchildren, and I'm sure most of you guys have children or grandchildren. I just want my family protected. My home has been hit numerous times, and I have a shed that I saved up for, and the front of that's all beat up from the balls hitting it. I just ask the commission again to take into consideration that I do have small children that those balls could hit. I understand that it isn't cheap, but it's a far cry from what walking trail or running trail or bicycle trail cost. And how can you possibly put a number on somebody's life or somebody's injury? I have small grandchildren about like this at my house, and I'm sure other people have. And again, I'd like you to take into consideration that I don't want my family hurt. I pay my taxes and I abide by the law. And I'm just asking the commission to give me and my family the same protection as everybody else in town gets. Just because I live in a trailer house in a trailer court, that shouldn't make any difference. Just because it's not a big $100,000 house, it's still my home, and it's the best home that I have. And I'd be a poor parent and a poor grandparent if I were to just let things go. I need to have my family protected when they go outside. I don't know how it can be done or anything. I've had it suggested to me that we hold raffles or, something on that order. But really, why should I have to? I should be afforded the same protection as everyone else in town. And that cover, for me, I would think that would cover the softballs hitting my personal property. Again, I just ask everybody to take into consideration were they your children and grandchildren, how would you feel? How would each one of you feel if one of them balls were to hit your children or grandchildren? I don't have a lot of money. That's why I'm living in a trailer house. I don't have the funds to build the fence, or I'd do it myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know the city has a lot of things to take care of and stuff, but my family and the families next to me and everything, again, should be afforded the protection as everyone else in town, regardless of where we live.
And I think what you're asking is reasonable, you know. But it's something that the commission will have to take a look at and see what the costs are and, you know, see if there's other organizations that use the field that, you know, could pitch in, you know, on doing
Yeah,
something.
'cause most generally, the balls that come over are from the college guys. Those are the nights that we have to worry about going outside and our property being damaged, are the nights that the college guys are playing.
Mhm.
I appreciate it, and again, I'd like to have each one of you really take a good hard look at what I said about if they were your children or grandchildren. You wouldn't want them hurt either. And I don't put any amount of money on my children or grandchildren, and I don't think anybody else does either. Well, I appreciate the time.
Well, and
thanks.
I want to thank you for coming in and speaking, you know, before the commission, and it gives them, you know, some time to think about it
Sure.
and see what, you know, what's possible down the road,
Sure.
so, okay?
All right, thank you very much.
And thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Okay, number 2 on appearances, acknowledgements, and correspondence. Acknowledge the August investment report, gross salaries and bills for ratification, and those are attached. Are there any questions, comments?
Make a motion, we acknowledge the August investment report, gross salaries and bills for ratification.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no old business, new business, first reading, ordinance number 1547, consuming alcoholic beverages in unlicensed public places or motor vehicles. And is there someone who would like to speak to that so that the public and the students are a little more understanding?
Okay. Simply, after our conversations within the last couple meetings, have pulled this and simply added the fire station, the city fire station, to the listing of the buildings already in this ordinance.
I believe that's the only change.
That's the only change, correct?
That's what I thought when I read it.
And just for the public and that, this is for places and that the public can rent and can bring in alcoholic beverages and that for their party or, and the fire station is something that people do want to rent, and it was not listed. And so it's just the clarification of the ordinance. So, any other discussion?
That's the best way to put it, is that it just clarifies and narrows the ordinance down a little bit better for the city, is basically all we're doing.
It's really including a piece of city property that's been previously left out.
Yep.
Mhm. Okay, if there's.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move the first reading, approval of the first reading of ordinance number 1547, amending the consuming alcohol beverages in unlicensed public places or motor vehicles.
I will second it, and I don't think it's an amendment, it's just.
Seconding the
First
ordinance.
reading, yep, first
Okay.
reading, 2 weeks.
First reading.
Yep.
First reading.
2 weeks from tonight.
Okay, I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bills for approval and bills for ratification are also attached. Are there any questions, comments?
I'll make a motion to approve and ratify the bills.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We also have some personnel adjustments in that were attached to your information sheet. Any questions or comments on those?
Make a motion to approve the personnel as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Announcements and other business. The stoplight at Washington Avenue and Second Street has been a topic of conversation throughout the city for quite a while, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Waldner if he would like to address that.
Yeah, excellent. A couple of things here. One, the biggest thing that I wanted to do is to why it's under announcements is just to inform the public, keep the city up to date on some of the things that are happening, and also it's a good way to show that we do listen to the citizens. When there are things that we can fix, I worked a lot with Chad, and what we did was we noticed that the north and south traffic at that corner, the stoplights, the green for east and west was very, very long, and it was too short going north and south. And so what we had was, we had a lot of people that were, cars that would get in the queue, and we had them cutting through Scoobies, through the, right past the gas pumps. Personally, I witnessed or seen, kids that were coming out of their cars, the little kids, 9, 11, 12-year-olds, and cars that would basically at highway speeds, cutting through the corners there. I also know that they would also cut through Subway's corner and things to circumvent or to miss the stoplight. Also, some of the complaints that I had heard was people that would stop at the light, and yeah, maybe it was only 30 seconds, but when you're at a stoplight for 30 seconds and there's no other traffic, it seems like a lifetime. So basically, we worked with DOT, and specifically, I need to thank Scott Jensen. He's the region traffic engineer for South Dakota Department of Transportation out of the Mitchell office, and he worked quite a bit with us and to make this improvement. So need to publicly thank him, and also just want to let the motorists know you can't be cutting off and going in between those parking lots like that. That's from a public safety point of view, that's just not proper. So,
Are
And-
they changing the time setting then?
yep,
They
they
did.
have already changed it, and it is better. It's never going to be 100% perfect for all of us. It's like any stoplight. It's red, you're gonna have to sit and wait. That's the way it goes. However, when they redo that highway, we would have the option to do what's called fully actuate. Did I say that right, Chad?
Yep.
And in other words, that's where when a vehicle comes up to that stoplight, it runs over sensors, and then it knows that a vehicle is there, and based off of that vehicle being there, then it can adjust the lights. And right now, it is just on the north and south side. And so, but yeah, they did adjust the lights, and like I said, it's a lot better, significantly better. However, when you do that fully actuated, it comes at a cost. And so, obviously, we didn't want to do that now because they're gonna be tearing up the road again real soon. It's a waste of money to do that now. But we will look at it when they, I know it's on Scott's radar, it's on Chad's radar, so
Yep,
we'll keep
it's
an
on the
eye on it.
public's radar.
Mhm.
I also had pulled up to the red light and stopped and noticed the car coming toward me, had pulled up to the red light, stopped, looked left and right, and came right on across. So whether it was just a, blank moment or whether they were in that big a hurry, I'm not sure, but they treated it as a stop sign, and
That
there were
still
no
happens
cars
a lot more than I
coming
think most of us
crossways.
realize.
it does.
So,
Mr. Mayor,
yes, sir.
may I also add?
Yes. Could you turn your mic?
Oh, yeah. May I also add, a lot of credit goes to Commissioner Waldner on this. Despite previous requests, since that light have been installed to review that by DOT, they hadn't pursued that, and.
Well, they had
might-
given justification as to why they
Correct.
weren't going to change it.
And Commissioner Waldner really pursued that
Yes.
and was insistent that they look at it, and persistence paid off because they made some adjustments after hearing some of the concerns, so I wanted to say that as well.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Little tenacity,
Here, here.
Yes.
Now you can work on Egan Avenue and
yeah.
Second Street.
Wish me
Is that
luck.
the same problem? I've talked to Chad about that one too, so. You want to be going east and west, you don't want to be going north and south.
So, all right, any other comments or questions or announcements? Seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So, and I want to thank the high
It's the
school
right
students
meeting,
for
extra
coming
credit.
tonight and seeing
We
how
gonna
the
do-
commission meeting
we gonna
works.
do this next week?
So,
Yeah.
and